So I'm going to introduce a little bit about our draft directive that we put together for nature's rights with the Citizens' Initiative, to explore how these ideas could work in the context of EU law. Our draft has been reviewed by lawyers, by academics, and other experts around the world, including some of the experts from the IUCN, the UN Harmony with Nature Knowledge Network, and also a legal expert from the Commission. It's also been reviewed by the law firm Freshfields from the perspective of complying with the EU competency rules. Our work is informed by the underlying holistic principles of Earth Jurisprudence that Maria Sanchez spoke about in her presentation. These are roughly that the Earth is an interdependent community of life and that the well-being of each member is dependent on the well-being of the whole. The laws of nature govern all of life, so we need to discover them and comply with them for our own well-being and for the well-being of the whole. We also have a duty of care, a positive duty to contribute to the integrity and the well-being of nature. And also that nature has inherent rights, that each being has the right to be, to habitat, and to play its role in the web of life, with the rights of each being being limited by the rights of every other being that make up the biosphere. And also resilience, that we have a duty to strengthen our resilience in a way that also strengthens the resilience of the whole. So, bearing these underlying principles in mind, some of the main points in our draft directive, I'll roughly go through them, are legal personality and the substantial and procedural rights of nature. The substantial rights include, but they're not limited to, the right to life and to exist, the right to maintain the integrity of its natural cycles and processes and its capacity for regeneration, the right to habitat, the right to naturally evolve and preserve the diversity of life, the right to preservation of the functionality of the water cycle in the quantity and the quality needed to sustain life, and the right to timely and effective restoration. We define nature as including, but not limited to, the earth, ecosystems, natural communities, species, and the atmospheric climate. A lot of the Earth Jurisprudence concepts are contained within the definitions, so it's well worth reading the definitions if you read our directive. For example, the Earth is defined as a dynamic living system comprised of an indivisible community of all living systems and organisms, interrelated, interdependent, and complementary, sharing a common destiny. Human beings are included as an integral part of nature, and this is weaved into all of the definitions. We also include a human right to a healthy environment for present and future generations. We include the hierarchy of rights by saying that any conflict of rights must be resolved in a way that maintains the integrity, the balance, and the equilibrium of nature as a whole. Also, we say that legal persons shall not enjoy any special privileges or rights that subordinate the rights of people and nature. For procedural rights, we include nature's rights to its own defense, its protection and enforcement by physical people, NGOs, and governments. We also grant EU residents the right to protect, defend, and enforce the rights of nature, and to have their governments do the same. There are also provisions for a duty of care, an ombudsman for nature, enforcement, non-adversarial dispute resolution, access to justice, rewilding, ecological governance, and ecological impact tracing for products, goods, and services. There's also a requirement to review the national laws and to integrate these rights across all areas of policy and society, and a requirement to phase out all subsidies to industries that infringe the rights of nature. We've received feedback that our draft is inspirational. Please download a copy from our website today, have a read, and let us know what you think. The intention is to form a starting point for discussion. The document is still evolving, and we would be very grateful to receive your ideas and your input for improving it.